pleasure. I welcome you to Click Naija Online Radio. The program is The Candidate, where we allow you to share your wealth of experience in the democratic process of our dear nation, Nigeria. And I also welcome you to the new face of Click Naija. My name is Nasir Yunusa, and with me is the youngest House of Representative candidate in Nigeria, Barrister Juliet Isi Ikhayere. She is a practicing lawyer and a politician. Welcome to Click Naija Studio.
Thank you very much.
I hope you're enjoying the atmosphere.
Very pleasant, thank you.
Follow us right now on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Click Naija, and hit the subscribe button right away on your YouTube channel at Click Naija. Now, intro, Nigeria youth can significantly impact the outcome of 2023 election. Mrs. Juliet, is that correct?
Miss Juliet.
Miss Juliet, is that correct?
Very true.
Yeah, so the Nigerian youth can really impact the outcome of 2023 election.
Yes.
Now, let me start with this question. At what age exactly did you get into politics?
I would say national politics 26, but politics of life, like leadership roles, was from the age of 16 when I became a Congress woman in University of Benin in the Linguistics Students Department. And that was where my leadership journey began.
You were into the SUG politics in
The
university?
departmental politics.
Oh, departmental politics,
Yes,
okay.
yes. But not actually contesting. Most times it was usually unopposed. I think I would say it's the charisma, the demeanor, and the people relationship. And it grew from there to become the Vice President of the Linguistic Students Association, LINSA, University of Benin. And afterward, during my service here, I still became the plateau leader in the youth service, CDS, Vice President and all, and got to University of Enugu State University where I read law, became the Moot Court Director, Legal Team Director, Assistant Secretary General of the Law Students Association of Enugu State. And came out to the law school, became the group leader where we managed over 150 persons from every part of Nigeria in NLS Abuja. And 6 months after call to Barr, became the financial secretary, Young Lawyers Forum, the MA Abuja branch. And barely a year into that, I got the ticket to run for councillor of Kubwa Ward. The FCT just concluded elections last year.
Yeah.
3 months later, the party called me after identifying the unique and impressive campaign we ran, and being a youth and understanding that youth and women have a role to play, we decided that we come in and pick a form, and I won landslide and became the flag bearer of my party, the ADC, to run for the House of Rep of the Federal Capital Territory under the Amakambori Federal Constituency.
Yeah, lovely, lovely. Now, what inspired you to join politics at such an age?
You say running for office in Nigeria?
Running for office in Nigeria.
Okay, actually my journey, I've always been someone who do not just sit on the fence and complain, and most times when the opportunity comes, it's always meeting me well prepared, because we've been able to build social capital, understand the nitty-gritty, technical know-how. That's when it comes to legislative policy, because if you notice, my running for office has always been councillor legislative, now House of Rep legislative, and as a lawyer, I should be able to understand what it is to actually draft a bill, know the T's, I's, those technical words used to make the law, review laws and all. So for me, it's all about impact, advocacy, and being a solution provider. And being born in FCT because I didn't just come into the land of FCT from nowhere. I was actually born here. My social capital has grown in this state. I'm practicing law here. So I think the opportunities just came, and preparation, like we said, next opportunity. So those are just the things that motivate me, and being a face of my own generation, because as it is today in the FCT running doggedly, we can see that we're the face of the youth in FCT, and we're not actually disappointed. And if there's something else when it comes to decent campaign, we'll run into the latter.
Now tell me a little bit about your campaigns in FCT. Now, what are the challenges you pass through? Because sometimes we talk, you tell me like the market, or the kids on campaign. Now, what are the challenges you pass through there?
FCT demography, it can be replicated to that of Nigeria as a whole. but not in terms of number, but in terms of people, because we meet people from every walks of life, every part of Nigeria, even from abroad, diaspora here in the country, in residing in FCT. But the challenges has been that we've had a lack of information, lack of knowledge. As when I say knowledge, I mean the main points of why we should actually vote in our leaders, why we should concentrate on governance, and it has actually led to the over the years apathy that has been seen in FCT. From the elections we ran in Kubwa, during the councillorship election, the low voters turnout was evident. In fact, people who, in 2021 there was a orientation, we ran a sensitization for people to get their PVC, but we had people not interested. They were only just bothered about the presidency. That's why you see the hiking, enthusiasm, participation of the youth in this presidential. But that's not the way to go. People need to understand that every tier of government matters.
Very important.
And so that issue of lack of political education is something. And I tell people, it's not just about running for office. You can have a political know-how about how things are done, how things in your environment works. And it makes you abreast with those things, research of your candidate. What is funny, so people do not even know those who are running. And so it's more of a party thing for them than a candidate thing. And so you see the misinformation, they say candidate, not party, and then you come again, you say, oh, you're not even in the big party, why didn't you join the big? So those misinformations have actually been a huge challenge. Then identify the large chunk of audience. When you said something about going to the market, the issue of market comes into play because of the people we are meeting. We don't need to go to houses. I tell people it's practically impossible to go to all houses. And there's something about the electorate, they love it when they see the politicians directly. So how practicable is it? And that's what I tell them, for you or I to actually go to all the houses in FCT within my constituency. So it's impossible. So we find out places that you can actually do campaigns. You can't do campaign in the church, it's out of the law. The law does not permit you to do it in religious houses. So gatherings, public places, you can actually sensitize, you can actually tell the people this thing so they can know. In fact, I feel we're even going overboard to educate the people, and that's something the people should already know, research, and then it will make it even easy for candidates to reach out to them via media and all.
Okay, something caught my mind. You said when you are out there with the people and times for election for like councillor, another House of Representatives, the people don't come out, as in people don't come out to vote. What do you think is responsible for this?
I think there's a high tension, insecurity, the fear of the unknown, because I used to remember back then as a child growing up, you can easily go to give food to the neighbors, but these days everybody lock their kids in the house, people do not come out to play with the neighbors, so tension, they really do not know who is who are those going to come out to the polling units. Then, like I said, the frustration also. People, I think, they're a bit frustrated with the lack of system structures. So things are not really orderly. You come back from work, the whole home economic issue, meltdown, lack, in fact, even the small businesses, the lack of customer relationship, everything just makes it so hectic to be in Nigeria. So I'm not saying that I'm giving reasons for them not to participate, but I'm just saying it could be the result of the frustration in the land, and it has made people lose faith in the government, lose faith even. But I think in the grassroots governance, even to the high, it starts from the grassroots. So if you do not even know who is running, then how do you now use representing you, what they want to do, how skilled are they, what are their proficiency, you do not even know this, and you're entrusting your community to them. So it's baffling, but I know that the more we become lax, the more we become docile, it doesn't help us, it's killing the future of our country.
Okay, now tell us how you deal with non-acceptability by noting that it might not be as a result of unconnected groups, as in when you go out, yes, definitely you meet people that are not ready to listen to you. So how do you go about this? How do you accept this?
I'll give a practical example. When we go to the market, usually it's, I would say the 40s and the 30s, when it comes to the male, there's this receptance when it comes to how the manner of approach. We talk to them in the most courteous manner, but we see that there's a problem. Some youths are also accepted, but at first when they come meet us, you hear, where's the money? In fact, it's very paramount, and even from women. So immediately I hear this, even from people who do not to be my moms, because I tell them, actually, your 28s are at home, but why are they not running? Why are they not even volunteering to be agent? But we are out here in the street. I'm not the, some say the government is scarcity of naira. I'm not the cause of the scarcity of naira. It's not my fault. The only thing we want to do is actually to see how much we can be a voice to take the issues of the people to the forefront, and that's why we're stepping out. So when you hear conversation like this, I will then break it down and make them understand these are the issues. It's not even easy to even come out here, even with insecurity, to come and then face you and tell you why I need to represent you. And then I also address the women. You are the ones that said you are marginalized. How come? Look at the field. Men are even the ones helping us out, taking our flyers, even smiling, being more receptive. And you who actually understand this pain, your children are even at home, who some of you are even complaining that they have actually gone into thuggery, ritualism. You've seen a young woman like me and you are asking me for money to share to the entire market women. How possible? And then they now become,
that's another part where when you come in.
yeah, so then they become relaxed and be like, oh, that's true, my pikin. So sometimes the way when you give them the answer, you go straight to the point. It's not possible for me to share money to you, and it's not even healthy. If I share to you and I don't share to Madam B, what does it create? And then to the youth, I would then ask them, I would prefer you also join me. So tomorrow it would also be an enabling environment for you to also go and try in your own state and become the councillor, the chairman, or even the House of Rep or governor. So when you continue like this, the same way they will also cast a stone against you, and before you know, they'll just become more attentive to what we say.
Okay, now this question is your approach. The approach you're using, because obviously, like, you are not really giving the money out to them. So is your approach really working for you?
Oh yes, whenever I speak truth,
Mm-hmm.
and they see reasons, because it's just the obvious reality.
Okay.
And I think that's what has affected the Nigerian youth to even come on board, because they know that if you do not participate in governance, people will come out and vote, and people will be elected. So if you sit at home, people will be elected. But the thing is that when you have a common ideology for the common good of all, and you carry a lot of friends, a lot of people who share the ideologies, you can be able to make an impact. I think that is what has stimulated our young people, our elders to participate in this election. But it's not just about the presidency alone, it trickles down to other levels of government.
Alright, now as a young politician, now do you think your age is a big deal to the political gladiators? Like the big mics?
I've not really paid attention to that, because for me, like I said, when your preparation meets opportunity, it's easy for you to try. Though they are not saying there are not challenges along the way, but we've not had cause to give reason to them, because for them, I think they are also busy doing their thing the best way they know how to do best. And for me, the best way I know how to, the best thing I know how to do best is to employ right strategies that in a decent community, people will be able to say, oh, she ran a good campaign, oh, she came with the competence, she came with the technical know-how, and she knows what she's going for. So though for me, that's what I'm more interested in than looking at what the gladiators have to say or what they have not to say.
Alright, people with Barrister Juliet. Comments coming through on our platform, Facebook and YouTube. You can ask her questions you want to ask her. She's the youngest candidate of the House of Representatives in FCT. She's vying for AMAC and Barr, right?
Yes.
Area Council. So please, you can keep your comments coming while I continue to ask her my own question. All right, Mrs. Juliet, Miss Juliet, sorry. Now, finance is one of the major issues for young politicians like you. It's obvious. When you were talking, you said something like major, like the market women were asking you should give them money so they can share for people, and you were like convincing them. So how do you do this? What do you do to solve your financial issues? Because in Nigeria, I don't think
it's an obvious fact that finance is a constraint when it comes to running for offices or structure building, for even the formation of ward level, state level, and even every angle or every level of politics. It requires finance. But for me, as a forerunner who is running for office, the challenges start from even the point that you need materials to sensitize the public, because the finance we are talking about, because I will always come from the legal angle, and what I actually practice and preach is that the finance should be channeled to mobilizing and sensitizing people. when I say mobilizing, it could be the logistics involved in going to sensitize from one point to the other. Like every day we've been on a campaign journey for different markets. I do not live in this particular area, but logistics will bring people from far and near to come here. It's not been easy because I need to really itemize those things finances are really useful. We'll move past primary, so I'm not talking about primary, just election period. So materials, and then the logistics, even the vehicular movement, foiling and all. How we've been able to manage through this process is actually appeal. Appeal for funds actually we did from Nigerians, because it's actually not right to actually collect monies from people in diaspora. But we've been able to get support from, I will not fail to appreciate the obedient movement. They've been very instrumental to my journey. They've actually showed me a lot of support, and that's why I say when you started the conversation with if youths are the deciding factor, yes they are, and their voice have been able to be very obvious in the political scene of 2023, and they've actually been supportive. Like I said, they've shown assistance through the media amplifying of my voice, various media, the social media, the media of stations. You see a lot of them coming out to help, giving slots to me to speak, and also I have been able to survive through that. So the bulk money of having to pay the hundreds of thousands to appear on TV, and I also appreciate women too. So women networks have been very, in fact, this platform is really being possible for me because of another woman helping to give me a slot. So I'm just giving a practical example. So instead of having to pay some millions in some programs, I've been able to cut down costs with the help of people. When they hear me speak, they know, oh, this person has something to offer, and then they just say one or two, the connection. Like they say, it's a connected world we are in. So somehow we've been able to manage it. But there are evident points where we still need finance, which is for the logistics, like I said, and we've been able to get a lot of appeal donations from people within Nigeria and all. And just like what happened with Obama, he had the highest crowd in the world. So those are just how we've been able to manage, but finance has been an issue. And also, I tell people when you go into running for office, be prepared. When I mean be prepared, have something doing. So there are some days you may not be able to get from people, but from the little business. I'm a farmer, I'm a fish farmer. The little things we do as a legal practitioner, those little monies, you'll be able to get to run campaign, calls and all that. So you'll be able to do that with your own personal resources and also the support of people. For me, that's how I manage.
I must say, I like your courage.
Thank you.
Courage for a politician, for a young politician is impressive. Now, in some cases, you might be dealing with intimidation and oppression. How do you overcome with this?
Usually, I feel the most part of the intimidation comes from the masses. And, you know, just like every political era, we see thugs. These are not rich people carrying guns. These are not, they are the people who should be called the masses, who should actually agitate for the right thing. So, those intimidation have been visible. But how we've been able to combat this is the manner of approach. Most times when we go in for sensitization and we meet a lot of hoodlums, try to harass, and then we'll be like, and when they come, you know, these are some of the native intelligence people need to know how to talk in the face of fear, in the face of issues. When they come harassing, we just have to sort of make them understand, oh, we don't have resources, we're just like you. I'm a young person, I'm not a stranger. All we just want is to see how we can be able to better the society for you and I. We're not coming with any violence. All we just want to sensitize people, and truthfully we'll go in peace. We also want to also see. So this is how we converse, and before you know, and I will not fail to appreciate God's grace. It's been very evident in my journey. And before you know, they just retreat back. It's every time, even yesterday, we get to see it, but before you know, they just calm down. They might see it too. It's something we train around.